Our guest tonight is an artist who uses her art to bring us closer to Creator Source and the creativity and imagination within ourselves. So, thank you for joining the show tonight. We are very honored to have you, and that is sincere.
Thank you. Yes, I'm definitely very grateful to be featured on your website and web show as well.
And we're here to talk about some very amazing things. And you do have really amazing artwork that we do want to get into, such as the stuff that we have behind us. Mm-hmm. So my first question, as always, to the guest is, who are you? Where do you come from? And what is your purpose here on Earth?
Well, I would like to say that I'm a very inspirational person that comes of this earth, and all the art that I create is inspired by etheric realms and interdimensions that work with our waking, lucid, almost dream-like reality. So I use these images that I see from these other worlds known as the dream world or the ethers and paint that onto the canvas. I channel it and channel almost like a psychedelic idea of what the visions of the human mind look like in the third eye. So that way people who cannot see these visions can see it more fluidly, and it comes as a more solid foundation for them to be able to open themselves to something so fantasy-like.
Yeah, I would agree that your artwork is very fantasy-like, and I'm trying to sort of, well, not sort of, but I'm trying to get some pictures on here so that everybody can see a few examples of it. So could you, well, you just actually did describe the type of art that you do, so.
Could you describe what your favorite medium is to work in?
Acrylic.
Do you have a reason, or have you tried any other mediums or anything of the sort?
I feel like I like to use acrylic the best because I can almost use it as an oil medium, applying it to the canvas thicker, or I can turn it into a watercolor by adding water.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seems like you put a lot of layers and, well, just time in general into all your pieces. I've watched progress shots of your work through Facebook and other social networking, and you like to take your work to live events, is that true?
To what events?
To like live music events?
Yes, live music events, definitely.
So you've kind of got like a reputation of being like a live painter or a visual artist.
Yes, I actually go out about 2 to 3 times a week and set up my easel and live paint during live music around Columbus, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Athens areas during the winter, and during the summer I tend to go out to music festivals and actually set up with my art gallery.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite event or festival that you've got to live paint at, or a favorite musician even to paint to?
I would say one of my favorite music festivals I've ever live painted at would be, it's really hard to say. There's some of them kind of line up, but I like the workout in 2013. 2013, that was my favorite festival.
That's awesome. I know I personally enjoyed watching you live paint at Rootwire, where I actually met you this year, and you did some really nice pieces, and I just really wanted to give you a shout out for being able to do that, especially at all different times of day and night. You really just always put your heart and soul into what you do.
I really appreciate you seeing that vision with me.
So you're obviously a very spiritual person, and you sort of put that spirituality into your artwork. It does say in your description that you use your art to heal and awaken our third eye vision. Could you describe what third eye vision means?
A third eye vision would be a release of the REM deep in your pineal gland, so you can see beyond the judgmental eye, where we can be able to see how physical matter is created from mathematical sacred geometry. And through the sacred geometry, we understand ourselves at a molecular level and how to bend and manipulate it in positive ways to create art in its own self, such as paint matter. And it's all pretty much one thing. It's the visual realm, the physical realm, and this reality that we think into being. I would explain that.
And you do some workshops. I saw a workshop that you did at Rootwire.
Yes, I definitely explained in depth how the first frequencies of sound actually vibrate at color tones, and those color tones and first frequencies align with our chakras within our body center. The third eye being one of them, the visual center. And that actually helps us perceive these color rays while the first frequency is being sent out.
So I'm curious about your story of your spirituality. Like personally, for me, I started as a well, I was in a Christian family. I went to a Christian church every Sunday for like 18 years. Where does your spiritual background start?
I think it mostly be a sense of intuition, and I've always had it in clairvoyancy. I've had it since I was about 4 years old, when I was first recognized anyhow. When my little brother was born, I used to speak for him when he was a baby, including this one time, me and my mom were in the backyard digging out a back hole, and we were going to line it with rocks so we could bring fairies. And as we were putting the leaf on top of the water, all of a sudden the wind started blowing and the helicopters, if you know what those are, were falling from the tree. And I stood up and was like, she died. My mom's like, what are you talking about? And 2 seconds later, an ambulance came around the corner, and basically the woman 2 to 3 blocks down our street from our house had died.
Wow. So you like saw that this happened before, you know, your mom saw the evidence of it?
Yes, I would say I've been very connected to the grid of things happening in the universe, the vibrational frequency that it sends out. I'm very connected to the ether, which is what your third eye is connected to through the DMC that is in your pineal gland. When you're born or conceived anyhow, you are basically nothing but pure spirit matter. The first thing that's even created is your pineal gland.
I love that you called it the grid, because I always talk about being connected to the grid and finding different things through the grid. And sometimes CeeLo is like, you and your grid, man. But I totally understand being connected to the grid.
Awesome.
Yeah, could you please explain the grid a little bit more?
Okay, so I would say that the grid is a plane that we walk upon and our chakras are connected to. It's an infinite plane that we create through. When we go to the dream realm, we are walking through this plane. It is the plane where all spirits interact and intersect with one another. As we travel along these planes, we begin to understand the dream world a little bit more, and how the dream world connects with the waking life, and that there is no space in between other than the times that we close our eyes. And those moments that we close our eyes are moments that we can go into the astral projection, which is deep inside of the releasing of the DMC in our third eyes to the REM stay consciously awake. I would like to explain that when we have deja vu, sometimes it's a dream that we had, reoccurring pixel by pixel, sound by sound, color and image flow in the waking life. That is when we began to understand the grid and how we work on that grid in the dream world and in the waking reality, and how we can connect the two and seeing the same thing.
That's awesome. Have you ever used the grid now? I know some of the people in our chat were talking about not understanding it. I like to say that, like, one of the ways I use the grid a lot is, like, if I'm trying to find something, or I misplace something, or I want something to appear, I, like, vision the grid in the physical realm that I'm in, but, like, it's almost like I'm tapping into dream world and moving whatever the item is to a specific spot, and it's like, it kind of, like, highlights it into my grid. And I like to say that that works in, like, real life. Like you said, it was a mixture of the dream realm in this world, so it's kind of like tapping into dream world to bring things closer to you.
Oh.
Most definitely. Do you remember how I explained how I saw the mermaid girls underwater
Mm-hmm.
and I've been dreaming that night?
Dude, that was crazy. Yeah, actually, I made a painting that represented you, and I actually would like to get that to you somehow, because I finished it and was trying to get a hold of you. But it was crazy. You were talking about being underwater and different mermaids, and then I actually had started the painting, I think, when we started talking, and I was just, like, in this clam-like shell, and this, like, jellyfish creature monster thing was, like, coming to get me and take my chakra energy away, and you were, like, revitalizing it. It was pretty epic. Pretty epic dream. But.
Interesting.
But yeah, speaking of one of my...
It's astonishing when family and friends have such a... Well, our family, I should say, has such a deep connection in this world. And that's one way I'm explaining how we are bridging the gap between that and how we can express ourselves that way in the waking life.
Well, it really felt like we were there together, and almost like a past life kind of energy or something was happening or taking place, and that, like, it literally felt like you were, like, helping me recharge my energy. And it was, like you said, it was just crazy how, like, connected the Star Kids are to each other. And I was really glad that we connected this summer. It felt very, very divine, especially how all the elements played out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But speaking of chakras and different things, I wanted to say that my favorite piece here is actually it's got the cat creature, and the chakras are coming up out of his head. And you use that one. You use the cat creature a lot in your pieces, and I think I saw where you were making a series with that included that. Would you like to talk a little bit more about what those symbols or animals mean to you, or how they come to you in visions?
Okay. Well, I had a very deep connection with lions because my name is Ariel, and it means Lion of God in Hebrew. And it kind of connects me to the angels as well, Archangel Ariel, and the Anunnaki, and how we are speaking with them, or have been speaking with them, and ETs. And I really appreciate the cat creatures a lot because there are Syrians. And like I had said, my favorite festival that I had ever been to was the workout in 2013. I was sitting inside of my art gallery and had this big cheetah blanket out inside of it underneath, and it was basically the floor, rubber carpet to it. And as I was sitting in there meditating, I was becoming this big galactic cat being. I had these galactic clothing on that was attached to me with the sacred geometry coming down my skin. And I had cat family members, friends of mine, coming up to me while I was inside of my art gallery, looking the same way, but as different as their own cat, with their own type of sacred geometry on their skin, unique design, pattern, and very, very interesting. Well, I was looking outside of my art gallery, and I could see them walking everywhere. They looked like they were 10 to 15 feet tall, and they were super galactic. And it had, like I said, the galactic clothing. It's mind-blowing. And so I started creating them after that. And more people have been having this deep connection with these animals and being able to vividly describe them to one another. such as me and Samuel Ferrand and Valzir Droid, the two digital artists. We all have been seeing and connecting with these animals through our dream state and waking state. So we are all three working on a collaboration right now. But the cat beings, in a way, are here to help us and encourage us into our golden-like state of mind, because we're entering the golden age again. And they're here to help keep a sacred space and keep us calm while we are going through this transaction.
This transaction?
Well, I mean, transaction of information. They're sharing their world here, and we're sharing ourselves with them.
Yeah, and we're like kind of more like a transition more so than a transaction into like a state of understanding their world with ours. And I feel like you're totally right that they're connecting through us and with us, and it's been kind of funny. I've been doing a lot of intuitive readings for people lately, and like they're almost like their starseed heritage has been coming through, and I guess you pointed out for me that it's this. You say that you think they're the Syrian race or part of the Syrian energy, but just in general, a lot of the different starseed energies have been coming through really strong for people's reads lately. So that's awesome that you're able to bring a visual to people so they know that it's not just them.
Yeah, I think its experience have a lot to do with the cat being.
For sure. I can feel that.
Like the blue cat with the chakras going all the way up to the top from its third eye. That was one of the first ones I really vividly connected with, which was that hoopla in 2000 or last year. And I was painting during Cappadocia, and I saw the being up above my easel, and as I saw the being there, I pretty much channeled it onto the canvas.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know two of the ones that we have featured behind us also have the cat figures in them too. So, yeah, this one, it has like the cat with the top hat, and that one's actually got a lion. It's like in tangerine sky, rainbow clouds of awesome. Wow. So, go ahead. What was that? I'm sorry.
I can explain them if you're interested.
Yes.
For sure.
I'll move out of the way.
Okay. So the first one on the left is the lion of the arc of the lion, and it represents the divine feminine, and her holy temple is her body. The animals ascending to the arc are a representation of having your faith in building something off of a message sent from God or higher being, helping us ascend or become higher versions of ourselves.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the animals going up basically represent your totem pole of animals is a woman that you express to the male when you are in a relationship or intimate with one another, which is the holy temple or the ship floating on the water.
That's
and then the sun in the sky is the golden light of the woman, the power of the woman to express herself as the divine woman. And the crystalline butterfly in the center is like a magician, like a goofy lion ET that brings some sort of infinite dream realm. And the crystalline butterfly is a part of that dream. And it's helping it flow fluidly like liquid into the universe. Peacock feather represents infinity.
How long did these pieces take? Just curious.
The first one, a week. The second one, 2 hours.
You said 2 hours?
A few.
A few? You're just going really ham on it?
Yeah, 5.
Nice. I was looking at the parrot. The parrot here. And
the parrot, yeah.
It's like, when I first saw it, I thought it was like a real picture of a parrot.
It's the first parrot I ever painted myself.
Yeah. That's so crazy. You're so crazy. I love you so much.
I'm
You're crazy in the
It's
most
hard to
awesome
talk,
way.
it's really hard to talk on here because they can hear my voice.
You said you can't hear your voice?
If I'm stuttering a lot, it's because I hear myself.
Oh, I think you sound pretty good. I keep asking the chat room if they can hear you, and they keep giving me an 11-11, so I think that we're cool.
They're doing the paradigm shift a little bit. Yeah, shout out to paradigm shift.
Yeah, you had an awesome meditation yesterday. That was a pretty cool show.
Yeah, he did the Into the Void meditation. Do you know about that?
In a way, yeah. Definitely.
Well, specifically, he just led us through a forest into like a big structure on a hill. I visualized a castle, and then we went in there and we looked into a picture frame, and then just sort of like let whatever come up, and then we went into it and like experienced that, and then we went upstairs and went into a room and did the same thing with that.
It's pretty crazy.
It was, and then we did Kamehameha balls and spirit bombs.
That's nice. I definitely need to meditate a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually leading to a question. What's something that you do or an action that you might do pre-painting? Like, what gets you into that zone? And what would you recommend to people maybe do to get them into that creative space?
Nice question.
Really spending time with yourself, playing chimes, certain sounds that would help you connect with your heart frequencies and the colors of your chakras to bring color visualization. That way when you're using the colors, they're more vivid and you can connect with them more.
Mm-hmm. Is this picture... Sorry.
I like to do yoga. It really helps me tune into my body and stay centered while I'm painting.
And you do hooping? Do you hoop before you paint?
Pardon me?
Do you do the hooping with the hula hoop before you paint?
I do sometimes in between painting, so I have a way to keep myself entertained.
Mm-hmm. And
definitely. That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Is this picture, you're here meditating? I think, is that the same picture that we have in the background?
Yes, the Appalachian Jam Witch.
Yeah.
That was at a Alex Grave Area 51 event in Asheville for Athens, Georgia.
Do you take breaks while you're painting to meditate and sort of like re-energize that channel that you're opening?
Like I said, that's something I need to do a little bit more. I just started a couple days ago. It's really hard for me to sit down and stay focused, and that's something I've really been training myself to.
I've been working on that a lot lately too, especially with so much creative energy flow. I think it's kind of hard for artists sometimes to like sit still because they just have this thing in their mind where they're like, oh, I should be painting, or oh, I could be doing this, oh, I could be doing that.
It's like that. It's like when I'm going into those visions, I want to be painting those visions, and it becomes overwhelming for me because I'm seeing all these beautiful visions, and I can't necessarily put them on a canvas.
Totally. Would you say that you go into like a trance-like state while you're painting, and that could be almost like your own form of meditation?
Yes, that is definitely my deepest meditation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I talked to my friend Andrew, and while I was going through this process of sort of shifting in a dramatic way to being, a more spiritual person, I guess. But he would always say, I meditate when I sleep, or I meditate when I do this. So for me, I meditate when I clean the kitchen.
And he loves cleaning the kitchen. It's one of your best qualities.
Yes, you can get into like a transient state of mind. So while you're working and moving, you're just having that experience of reversible moving through the visual realm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's meditation.
Mm-hmm. Merkaba Monday is today. Nick Bryce is doing Merkaba Monday in Detroit.
That's special.
Yeah. 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 Do you miss Nick? You miss Nick Bryce?
Yes, I miss you all dearly.
Yeah. That was great. You were she was on the trip that we eventually called the Eternal Tribe Foundation.
That's awesome. I've heard many good things about that trip.
Yes. How was your experience on the 2012 post 3DL trip?
I loved it. I wish I could have been a little bit more cautious during the time.
Yeah. It got pretty crazy at the end there.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. But I will cherish that trip forever, and I'm eventually going to write about it.
He started a book about it, I think.
It's called My Adventures with Nicholas Bryce.
It'd be an interesting book.
Yes, I'm very excited. So, what inspired you to pick up the paintbrush in the first place?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
I would say I've had a few thoughts as a younger child that I wanted to create before I ever began really getting into the painting. But 3 years ago, our family fell apart, went away, and we were home. Well, I was homeless, and I ended up moving in with an artist college student in Columbus, Ohio, and she had a room full of art supplies. And she sent me up there one day and told me I was more than welcome to paint anything because I had just started getting into art in the first place. And when I went up there, there was a firecracker that had this little black silhouette on it of a man dancing, like a jazzy man. And so I painted that a little bit larger on a piece of paper and spray painted around it and created my own color and style for the jazz guy dancing. And ever since then, I had been inspired and completely encouraged and intrigued in the art and paint matter, and had never stopped.
That's really beautiful.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yes. So I would like to offer the audience members a chance to ask Ariel questions. So if you do have a question for Ariel, post it in our chat room. That would be very helpful to us. And before then, I mean, we do have a few more questions, and then we'll get to the audience. Did you have a question?
I was wondering what her favorite piece was, or if she had a favorite creation.
My favorite one is probably the lion one behind.
That's awesome.
The line behind us, this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said that you really connected with Ariel because that's your name, like Archangel Ariel. Would you say that you call upon her frequently, or that you use her guidance, or that you believe in those kind of energies?
I do believe in the archangels, yes, and I feel like maybe I need to connect with her more deeply.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. A strong connection.
That's actually a painting of her behind.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we just did a roundtable on the archangels. You should listen to that one. It's a lot of good things came out, actually.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Would you like to talk about any other spirit guides or angels or anything that you may connect with, or want to give a shout out to that help you along your journey?
I connect with a lot of Tibetan and Hindu gods, actually. Ganesha is like one of my best friends. When I meditate, I hang out with him. And her, it depends on how you perceive the energy. I also am with Mahalakshmi, and it's really cool because when I spend time with Ganesha, it's like we're friends. We spend a very good time on the spiritual together. Other than that, I spoke with Archangel Michael. I hear him a lot, and I also hear Archangel Metatron. Archangel Metatron has come to me in some very deep visions. Sometimes it's like a 60-foot tall, light blue angel with gigantic wings in the void place. which is basically the first starting point of sacred geometry, which is what Archangel Metatron is working for.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Yeah, they're some of my favorite guides to keep close by as well.
Mm-hmm. Samantha is thinking of a question, I think she said, right? Or
Yep.
is it?
We got a question from Ree, though.
Cool. You want to go ahead and read that out?
Sure. Question from the audience. Member Ree says, what's your favorite kind of music to paint to, and how do you manage time when working on art pieces? I've started creating art again, and I'm really random and haven't quite finished one yet. So she's looking for inspiration in what your favorite music is.
I would say that. Right.
Hey. Hey.
I apologize. Okay, to start off, my favorite music to paint to is usually tribal beats, organic sounds usually, anything that is representational of caring for the earth and inspires us to connect with Mother Nature and Mama Pacha. Which would be some music along the lines of Random Rap and Nancy Tater, STS9, The Word, Papadocio, Wild Light, Naco, Honest Yahoo, reggae like Bob Marley, The Grateful Dead. Pretty much I don't know, any music gets me inspired. When it comes to, what was the second question she asked me? Can you repeat that?
I think it's basically like, how do you keep motivated to finish a piece? What inspires you to finish a piece instead of just keep starting new ones?
What would motivate me is giving time in between, allowing myself to calm down and visualize further into the piece that I put down. Allowing myself to not have an artist block or deciding for it to be finished, as allow the visions to continue to represent themselves.
Do you ever consider a piece 100% finished, or do you always kind of see something that could be done to it?
I always see that there's something that can, well, that's a lie. I actually think I'm completely finished, such as the lion one behind you. And I could touch up the sun more and make it look more realistic. But other than that, that's something that I would see that could be further done on a canvas. If it was only line work, I could turn it into something more real.
Understandable. Yeah, I think they are beautiful and totally look finished. I just know as an artist, sometimes it's hard to bring that end to a piece, or actually say, okay, I'm done with this. There's nothing else I can do, nothing else I want to do. And I think sometimes there's a lot of people who have problems trying to finalize a piece or start something new and completely put an end to one.
What would really help with that is having an ideal of a structure that you're going to paint with. Instead of going free flow or asymmetrical or just the colors, to align the painting.
That's very
if
good
that
advice.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so I have one more question for you before we get into another segment. Do you have any advice or tips for any other artists or just people in general?
Any advice that I could give to you would to not allow others to invade your personal space when it comes to artwork. Don't let them hold you back. Don't let their artwork or expression hold you back. And see yourself as an equal and understand that it does take time to create and finish products. And so it's something that you're going to have to understand and teach yourself how to do. You're going to continue to be an artist. And when you're out live painting in front of people, to just breathe deep and realize that they are appreciating you, and that you have no reason to be in or out of your own order or comfortable space in a way.
All right. So no more questions from us?
I haven't seen any.
Okay. Well, we can do the mustache segment. If you would, we're gonna do it. I don't care. We're gonna do it.
He's gonna put a mustache on.
So there should be a button that says Google Effects. I don't even see it.
You don't even have it. We can't even do it.
I don't even have it on here.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Either way. So no mustaches. But for this segment, each three of us will just take a turn and say, I mustache you question, direct it towards one person, and then the other person will get to go. So I would like to offer you the chance to go first.
Okay. Ariel, I must ask you a question. If you could paint anywhere or have one of your paintings placed anywhere in the world, where would that be? You can think about it for a second.
Is this now or is this in the future?
Both. You can give us a rundown of just a couple places if you can't pick one, because they're probably good.
Africa would be kind of cool. So I have one in Alex Gray's Cosm once he builds the new one. And one in my own Cosm where I built one.
That'll be a glorious day.
In hospitals.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good place I think for art. I don't think a lot of people realize that art should be in hospitals all over, because it inspires them and it gives them something to like look at and put hope for. I had to spend a lot of time in not only working in a hospital but with family and friends there, and art is such an important part of that. So it's awesome that you inspire to have art somewhere like that.
That's a great idea. You are so smart.
Thank you. That's something I really. That's nice. Maybe your encouragement will definitely help reach out.
Yeah. Nursing homes too.
Yeah, nursing homes and children's hospitals and schools.
Man, you just opened up a whole different reality.
Yeah, because I think, I use my art with the colors to help bring calmness and people feel inspired and comfortable. And I think hospitals are a really special place for that, especially for children. If they're about to go into surgery or get a needle stuck in their arm, have big colorful paintings full of fancy creatures, animals that really help them sit through something. So unlively.
Totally.
Definitely. So I'm going to offer you the chance now, Ariel, to mustache a question.
Mustache. You both think what further projects you get into in the future when it comes to this and helping the communities where you're living?
So what was it? I heard part of it. What was the question?
What we're doing to help our community? Is that what the question was?
Yes, there are ideas you have in the future and ways you can connect with other communities across the country.
That's a beautiful
to
question.
help the common society and everything.
Yeah. You can go first. I know you're bubbling.
Am I bubbling?
You're bubbling with ideas.
I know that we're trying to touch base with more of the community where we're located right now, which is close to Cumberland, Maryland. I would love to get a warehouse of some sort or a large building and dedicate rooms to different artists and musicians and types of art, like have like a ceramics room, a painting room, and different things. Kind of like the Andy Warhol idea of the factory and stuff he had. And also we're like connecting with the film crew and the film festivals and stuff around here and trying to reach out and get Project Bring Me to Life, more known as like a constant content informational hub or something of the sort. To just reach out to all the communities in the future. Yeah,
I would say that probably the closest goal or idea would be to do a tour across the country with some of the people that we have been connecting with a lot, Ariel. such as yourself, and Nick Bryce, people doing workshops, kind of like a small festival, just going around to different places and doing our thing, kind of like how we wanted to when we left 3DL the first time, but like having an actual plan, being, organized and doing it the right way, and having lots of money to do it with.
We're getting there. Manifestation.
Yes. One thing I am doing is creating online classes, and then eventually my ultimate goal would be to have schools around the world to talk about the things that we enjoy talking about on podcasts and on the website.
And then we could give people jobs and a space to come and teach, and like you could come teach workshops and different things like that. So we definitely want to keep you and all the other people that have
$50 an hour to start.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, and I think what's really special about that too is it'll help people build their own communities that are supporting and sustaining themselves. Such as the music festivals. We were talking at Gratify this year a little bit about how we like to tell everyone that we're sustainable music festivals. They were talking about Gratify themselves, but they're really not, and so they're trying to figure out ways to how, I guess, to like connect and make that a real thing. Our sustainable communities are going through.
Yeah.
And by doing stuff like you're traveling and bringing that information and knowledge and bowling to those places will help a lot, because if we were to build concrete sustainable cultures, we would need groups that are teaching children or teaching other people about subjects like this, or bringing the artists and the here, or whatnot.
So I'll do my mustache question segment, or my mustache question. Yes, sorry. And I will direct my mustache you question, Ariel. To Ariel. And my question for you, Ariel, is within the last 3 months, what is the most intriguing, unexpected moment that has occurred to you?
Oh, that face.
Wow. There's just all the synchronicities just out of this world. Anyways, probably having a very deep connection with someone to the point that you can see them in the sky or the clouds, and you can see their actual soul reflecting through it. And I would say that the second most is my mind fully opening to the point where my artwork is actually being created in the physical plane. I could see it pouring out through my aura and coming through other people. At Prankster's Paradise, the writer for High Times, or the owner of High Times, anyway, came up to me and he picked up my artwork off the ground and it had dirt and water on it. And he picked it up and he looked at it and he goes, "Oh my God, your artwork's so beautiful." I was like, "Thank you." And he starts playing with it and shaking it around, and the water on the canvas in the photo actually started moving and coming to life. Now, my artwork started doing that about 2 years ago, and I had some interactions with negative people who wanted to take that faith away from me. And it happened. It did, and it took that vision and that sacred space away from me. And so it was really nice to have someone come up to me and show me that they can still see that, and still see that my art is a physical, in a way, dream reality. It's just real. And it was nice to have an old, Grateful Dead old head person that's family member pick it up and show it. And because I was raised on death for about 7 years of my life.
Man.
Such an awesome story.
Yeah, you describe it beautifully. I love the way you speak.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Good to know.
Good to know.
This is my first video web interview.
Yeah? Well, we are very excited to be your first.
Yep. I'm sure you'll have many more in the future. All kinds of interviews are to come, my dear.
Definitely. Definitely. You are one of the young leaders of this world, and I'm excited to co-create a beautiful future with you.
Yeah, I look forward. I hope you do many more workshops this year, too, because I really enjoyed your workshop at Rootwire that he was mentioning earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I will actually be leading a workshop at the Hoop Kids Art Festival at the end of this month.
Awesome.
I will be also leading the open ceremony for the festival as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where else can we look forward to seeing you this year? Hopefully.
The Workout Music and Arts Festival, Tribal Connection, Color Dance Music and Arts Festival, the Mad Hatter Party.
I love that festival. We actually have Taco and Elise tomorrow night on the podcast, so that is awesome.
I'm gonna watch that. Pretty much. They're adorable. Oh my goodness.
They're awesome. And also, where can people contact you or look at your art and help purchase it to support your dream? Give yourself a shout out. What's your website or Facebook or?
Well, my Facebook is www.com.
www.com. That's the coolest web address I've ever heard.
It's okay.
The Aquarius mark.
What was that one more time?
I'm an Aquarius. I'm an air sign.
My mom's an Aquarius as well.
So www.facebook.com/cbeyond. But cbeyond, by the way, it's actually on this. I do believe you can see what my website is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't have any personal websites to sell my artwork on other than my Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's spelled SEA Beyond.
Awesome. Do you have any more questions or anything?
I think I do want to say that I enjoyed our podcast, and I really enjoy seeing your face again, Ariel. Yeah, you're just a really special person, and I'm really happy that we have you on the website and the podcast, and very excited to collaborate with you more in the future.
Real quick, do you have anybody that you would like to shout out or thank for that's helped you on your journey, or just shout outs to anyone special?
Andy Reid and Randall Roberts, they both have been very inspiring to me on starting from our culture and continuing our artist vision and our dream and our goals.
That's awesome.
And other artists that really inspire me are artists like Michael Devine and Samuel Ferrand and artists like Alex Knopf and Turner.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely give me hope for the future in my artwork and help connect me to those visual planes and gives me something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to join CeeLo then in thanking you for coming on and being a part of this, and I look forward to seeing how much you grow, and it's been nice seeing how much you've grown just since I met you last year, and it's been beautiful getting to hear your story.
And I'd also like to give a shout out to Ashley Corman, too, for helping me connect with my divine mother goddess and my Mother Earth inside of me. She's very inspirational when it comes to her service. So.
Great.
And she's very open to me too, and I love that she enjoys my presence.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it's always good to have family and divine star connections like that, and people that help you get into where you need to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right.
Special when they can reach out, and they're happy to.
That's right.
Yes. Ariel Esterline, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.